Hi, Michael Chauncey here. This is lesson 3 in our series Blues You Can Use. I'm trying to learn how to play blues music on the guitar, and today we're going to be talking about employing chord shapes into your soloing. It's a whole lot more interesting than just playing the pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale is really the foundation of blues soloing, but you can really embellish a lot by taking these chord forms and using them to your benefit. Let's get started. We've been learning so far our shuffle in lesson 1, our pentatonic scales in lesson 2, and now chord shapes in lesson 3. We've been learning to play in the key of A. So here's the nut of the guitar, and you have dots, position markers, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. I go over that again. 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. All of our playing of our pentatonic scale was in the box between fret number 5 and fret number 8. So we're going to start here on fret 5, and we're going to talk about this chord barring 1 and 2 strings on fret 5, playing fret number 6 on the 3rd string, and fret number 7 on the 4th string. For those of you who know your chords, way down here at the 1st fret, that's how you play F. Well, that chord is movable. F sharp, G, A flat, and A. So let's take that chord and see some of the cool things we can do with it. One of the first things we can do with it is just slide the strings from slide it up a whole step or a half step. Now I'm just using strings number 3 and number 1. You could do it with strings number 3 and number 2. Or a whole step. So that slide on 3 is really cool. And now another thing that you can do is add this note, which is the 6th note in the scale. So with your A chord, add that note. This is your 7th note in the scale. That's a G. So, and with that slide, there's a whole passage just based on that slide and the adding of the 7th, 6th, 7th, all the way down here to the A. Kind of a country feel. Now the 4th chord in the scale is D. And we're going to use a D 9th chord. And the way we're going to play that is we're going to bar string 1, 2, 3. We're going to put our finger here on the 4th fret and here again on the 5th fret. That's a 9th chord. It's a cool one to slide up too, from a half step down. So you got a shuffle going on. So that slide comes in real handy there when you go to the 4th chord. That's at measure 5 of the blues. The same chord, D 9th, D 7th is right here. So going from the 9th chord to goes real good in the middle of your shuffle. Same thing on the 7th fret, you get that 9th chord again, but that 9th chord becomes E ninth. And this chord right here works great with the turnaround. It's kind of a real dirty sounding chord, and it's like the E ninth, except with the addition of the pinky here on that G note. So you're going to get A flat here and G there, and together they sound pretty awful. But when you toss in the 7th and the root note of E, you get a real fat sounding bluesy chord. So let's do some picking with what we've learned so far. The slide of this A chord. That 9th chord, again, played up on the 12th fret, ends real nice for you. That's actually A ninth. Done with a slide down or a slide up. Either way, that half-step slide, super cool. So there's some chord shapes that work really great with the blues. I'm going to give you one more. I know I don't want to overload you with too much information, but you can always pause the video and take a break and let your brain rest and then come back for this one later. This is the shape that you would normally associate with D, but played up here on fret number 9. Remember 3, 5, 7, 9. This becomes A. This is great for the blues, but it's also great for country. What we're going to do here is now, while playing that, another thing that we could do with this chord shape is bend the string at the 12th fret, tap the first string with your pinky, bend back down, then you're back to here, 10, 9, and then back to the 10th, or 11, 9, and then back to the 10th fret here, which is your root note A. Remember that it's always nice to end on the root note. So it kind of has a little bit of country flair to it. I'm going to switch my pickups to my neck pickups, give it a little more twang. So there you go, using that shape. Real twangy country. So you could take your country shuffle, that, by the way, not to fool you, but the same thing we did up here with A, I just did with E. Using sliding into the chord, using the 6th and the 7th of the scale. Do it here on the 10th fret and it becomes a D. So all that shaping around that A chord there. Well, that's a lot. Just to recap it all, we learned how to roll into that A chord. We learned how to use the 6 and the 7. We learned to use the D 9th chord. That 7th chord. Learned to do it with E. And then we learned to come up here to this shape, that D looking shape, but up here on the 9th fret it's actually A. And there's your lesson, blues you can use.